Greetings, fellow Whovians, and welcome to Timey Wimey Review. I hope you are all well. Well, I'm sure you will be because we have just watched the Doctor Who special. The Power of the Doctor is just aired in the UK on BBC One, and all I can say is wow, there is so much to talk about in this special, which also coincide with the celebrations of the 100th anniversary of the BBC. So this is a spoiler talk reaction video. There's going to be tons of spoilers. If you haven't seen the special, do look away now. This is your final warning. So in a nutshell, this was pretty much a celebration of Doctor Who, a bit of an early birthday present for Doctor Who, with it celebrating its 60th anniversary next year. And in a nutshell, the plot was the Master, the Daleks, and the Cybermen all coming together, joining forces to stop and get rid of the Doctor once and for all. And through this intricate plan, which involves seismologists and these disappearing paintings and lots of wibbly wobbly timey-wimey stuff, it all sort of like happened on Earth. And there were basically that the Master was going to force the Doctor into regenerating and harnessing that energy. He was going to go inside the Doctor's body and basically become the Master Doctor. And props to Sacha Dhawan because he had a lot to do in this special, and yeah, he just nailed it. Loved every incarnation that he was. He was Rasputin in disguise. We had a bit of the sort of old school Master classics going on there with the tissue compressor, and basically you can reverse that. So that's how we managed to get Assad back into this special. And yeah, loved the Rasputin dance when they were all, and the Daleks and the Cybermen were just watching him do this dance, and the little looks that the Dalek and the Cyberman look to each other at. Yeah, it's just bizarre. And yeah, when the Master became the Doctor, or the Master Doctor, whatever you want to call it, loved that he came out in all of the Doctor's costumes or outfits from previous incarnations. Why haven't I thought of that before? That would have been a great Comic Con cosplay outfit. This special was just action packed from beginning to end. It just didn't really give itself time to breathe, and it just went incredibly fast paced. And that really good sort of introduction beginning part where the Doctor, Yaz, and Dan board the space train to find the Cyber Masters and sort of start this adventure, just even beyond the stars. I thought it was really good. In fact, the whole special effects, this is, they can't really compete in terms of money wise like Netflix or Disney Plus or even Amazon Prime. But I thought in terms of the effects, I did think that it did hold its own in this special. After that intro, we got our first goodbye in the form of Dan. The Doctor dropped him off back into Liverpool, kind of doing like a same time next week, and he was like, actually, I nearly died on that weird space train adventure, so I think I'm gonna keep my feet firmly on the ground on Earth. And yeah, it was a bit of a sort of short sort of goodbye, but I did think John Bishop, throughout his tenure in Doctor Who, really just made an impact. I thought his character was great. I thought he was really good in that. And I hope it's not the last that we see of Dan. I truly believe there should be a Dan, Yaz, and Kevin McNally. I've forgotten the professor's name now from Doctor Who Flux. I hope they have a trio. As a trio, have a lot of adventures for Big Finish Audios. But I hope for the TV series of Doctor Who, I hope we do get the return of John Bishop in the future. As one companion leaves, more companions arrive. We first had Sophie Aldred returning as Ace, followed very quickly by Janet Fielding as Tegan, and both of these actresses were fantastic. I thought Sophie just she's never been away as Ace, really, with all the books and audio adventures that she's done for the past 30 plus years. And I felt that the character of Ace was getting more younger as this 90-minute special progressed, especially when she started getting on the jacket, and then we saw the baseball bat, and then she talked about Nitro 9 and saying Wicked. That was all great, but the one that I was really more intrigued about out of the two characters was Tegan, the return of Janet Fielding as Tegan, because obviously they left on not so great terms in Resurrection of the Daleks, and they definitely picked that up in this special. And there was definitely tension between the Doctor and Tegan, and yeah, I thought Janet was really good. This was her first televised performance in nearly 40 years. I know she's done a few for voice work for Big Finish Audio, but to come back in Doctor Who, yeah, she definitely did not miss a beat. So there's quite a lot going off in this special. You had the Cybermen or the Cybermasters infiltrating unit headquarters with Kate, Gemma Redgrave returning, Kate Stewart, sort of teaming up with Ace and Tegan to sort of deal with that threat. Ace later on in the special having to also deal with the Daleks, who have got their own sort of agenda in taking over the Earth and the universe, as well as Yaz having to sort of deal with her adventures with the return of Vinder as well, Jacob Anderson. But then we got the Doctor, obviously having this forced regeneration upon her by the Master, and basically the Doctor in her own inner psyche gets to meet quite a lot of past Doctor incarnations. What an amazing surprise. Started off with David Bradley returning as the first Doctor, but then even more big surprises. We had Colin Baker, Peter Davison, Sylvester McCoy, and Paul McGann. Doctors 5, 6, 7, and 8, all sort of intrigating throughout their own personas, basically, as the inner psyche, basically telling the Doctor that when you are regenerating, this is kind of like our past incarnations, our inner psyche pushing you to that next step, and that's when there is the point of no return. I really loved seeing the return of Peter, Colin, Sylvester, and Paul. Very good surprise considering they've done quite a lot of Comic Cons in the UK, so they managed to keep that quiet really well. And I know there's a few sort of rumours that there could be past Doctors returning, and I kind of squashed it. I thought there would surely it'll just be voice cameos, but how Chris Chibnall managed to write them in as full-on screen cameo appearances, I thought was genius. Again, why haven't we thought about this before? Basically, it's their older selves, but sort of manifesting as a bit of a sort of an AI for the Doctor and for the companions, again through lots of other technobabble that went on in this story. But it was great that Ace could have that kind of fill in the gaps between her and an older Seventh Doctor. Kind of was made out that they had a falling out, and also again having a really good heart-to-heart moment between Tegan and the Fifth Doctor. And I loved the part where Tegan was saying to this AI Fifth Doctor, "What am I thinking about now?" And he straight away said Adric. So yeah, it was great to have those, and obviously seeing Jodie interact with past incarnations of the Doctor. Not only that, we had a very brief appearance of Joe Martin as the fugitive Doctor, so again sort of playing with that sort of AI psyche, and yeah, it was great to see her back, and I'm glad that the door is not fully closed. The chapter is not fully closed in the fugitive Doctor's book. That definitely leaves that door open for more adventures. I imagine so in Big Finish Audios. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some comics out regarding the fugitive Doctor, but it also leads to one day maybe Joe Martin returning potentially under Russell T Davis's wing, and I would really love that. I thought Joe Martin was excellent as the fugitive Doctor, and yeah, definitely have not finished with her yet. But our main star of the show, Jodie Whittaker. This was a final. I know a lot of people are leaving today, but Jodie, for me, I thought this was her best performance as the Doctor. I thought it was the most enjoyable performance I've seen with her. I thought there was I rewatching quite a lot of her past episodes. It was kind of there, but not quite, and I felt like we were still getting used to her and getting to know her. But in this special, it was kind of like, I'm the Doctor. This is my persona, and this is how I'm going to sort out this terrible plan of the Masters. And yeah, like I said earlier, interacting with past incarnations was great. I loved the scene with her and Yaz when the poor Doctor gets it in the end. Basically, I think the planet, basically the laser beams killed her. Basically, the Master and the Doctor had this final confrontation on the cyber conversion planet. Um, the Doctor fired or managed to activate this energy beam that basically self-destructs the conversion planet. But the Master had one last trick up his sleeve, basically saying, if I can't be the Doctor, then so can't you. She gets a blast of this beam, which is basically going to trigger off a regeneration. And it was a really nice moment between her and Yaz. One last trip. So they basically orbit the Earth and sit on top of the TARDIS box, eating ice cream. And obviously, Yaz getting teary. And I thought, again, that was a really good scene with Mando Gill. And then the Doctor basically saying that, yeah, I need to do this last bit alone in regenerating. So the 13th Doctor drops off Yaz to back to Earth, and she stumbles across Dan and Graham. Graham was also in this. A nice return of Bradley Walsh. He gets to team up with Ace to basically stop the Daleks. So that was really cool. But what was another brilliant bonus here was basically Graham has started this companion support group, sort of what happens after you leave the Doctor and the adventures. So him, Yaz, Dan, they were accompanied by Tegan and Ace, but then the surprise returns of Katie Manning as Jo Grant, Jo Jones, Bonnie Langford as Mel. That was rumoured quite a lot, possibly more for the 60th anniversary. And a brilliant surprise of all, William Russell as the very first companion, Ian Chesterton. It was great to see him again. And obviously Kate Stewart was there. So they have this nice little council. And then we see Jodie go back onto Earth outside the TARDIS on this cliff, this really nice sort of sunset going off, and surrounded by sea. She regenerates into David Tennant, and yeah, that was a great cameo. We didn't know whether it was going to be either David or Shooty. In my heart I thought it was going to be David, and it was. He has returned, and for me, I think he has degenerated, because straight away he said, I recognize these teeth, and then we get the what and what. So yeah, that was brilliant. And very quickly we got a clip of what's to come after this special. This is going to be in 2023, so that pretty much rules out any Christmas specials, potentially a New Year special, not sure. But basically, yeah, quick montage of what's going on. We saw Neil Patrick Harris as Celestial Toymaker. We saw Donna Noble returning, Catherine Tate, scenes of that. Lots of explosions, and then Shooty Gatwa right at the end going, what the hell's going on? So as much as I'm excited for that for the future, for now here, I originally was going to do a full-on review, but there's so much to unpack in this special. I want to watch it again and do a proper review later on in the week. But for now, I thought I'd just do this reaction videos, tell you sort of the main spoilers as well, and basically say that yes, I had a really good time with this special. I was very worried. I thought it was either going to be brilliant or a beautiful mess. But no, it was definitely spectacular for me. I thought it was a great swan song for Jodie. I thought it was a great celebration for Doctor Who as a whole, and also to tie in with the BBC centenary celebrations, and lots of winks, nods, and nostalgia pops to celebrate the past for Doctor Who. I'm reserving judgment. I'm not going to give it a TARDIS rating. I don't know whether it's a knockout of the park for me as of yet, but it's definitely a home run. Really enjoyed this special. Can't wait to watch it again. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts to The Power of the Doctor. Did you enjoy this special? Did you think this was the best performance by Jodie Whittaker, or even the best performance by the Master, by Sacha Dhawan? I would love to know your comments, your initial thoughts, and are you looking forward to what is to come in 2023? But for now, thank you very much for listening to me ramble on in this reaction video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the cloister bell for more notifications, come say hello and follow me on Twitter at ReviewTimey, and do check out my other videos on the Timey Wimey Review YouTube channel. And as a good doctor once said, tag, you're it.